Hello, my name is Kumkum Gautam, and in the previous lecture about the season traits, we have discussed their general characteristics, and today we'll continue with that only. So, this is basically we are talking about today body wall. Okay, so now the body wall, as I told you that they are diploblastic organisms, means they contain two layers. First is epidermis and second is endodermis. Now this epidermis and this is endodermis, and we also call the endodermis gastrodermis. Okay. Now this epidermis is contain a number of cells and these cells are performing different function. Okay, so first one is epitheliomuscular cells. So these are the first one that epidermis contain, and this is an whole cell is a epitheliomuscular cell that contain a myonemes. You know, these are the myonemes that govern the longitudinal height, that maintain the longitudinal height of the epitheliomuscular cells. And along with the myonemes, they have myofibrils whose contraction is means they used to contract, which lead to the shortening of the height. Okay, so basically myofibril for contraction and myonemes for maintaining the longitudinal height. Okay, they also have neurocyte. So this is basically a specialized cell that they have, the neurocyte cells, and these cells are basically responsible for a protection and a defense, and we're gonna discuss later. And next is interstitial cells. Interstitial cells are basically meant for the regeneration. It means whenever there is any type of cut that has been taken place in the ciliate traits, so these interstitial cells are responsible for regenerating that particular part. Now they have a germ cells also. Move to the endodermis. Endodermis is basically the same as epidermis. That means, so the cell that is consist by the epidermis, the cells are also found in the endodermis, except cnidocytes. So first is endothelial-nutritive cells or endothelial-muscular cells. These are basically responsible for intracellular digestion. You know, these provide the site for the intracellular digestion. Now they also have myonemes, and these myonemes basically here responsible for governing the width of the organ. Okay, and in the epithelial they are for the govern the longitudinal height, while in the endodermis they are functioning to maintain the width of the organ. Okay, so here they become thin. Now all the cells that is found in the epidermis is also found in the endodermis, except, this is very important, except cnidocytes, because cnidocytes are absent in the endodermis. Now endodermis also consists of endothelioglandular cells. Now these cells have a function to release a number of enzymes, and these enzymes performing a number of functions in the body. This is like the same point that cnidocytes are only found or present in the outside, that is epidermis. Okay, I'm gonna show you the picture of this. Yeah. Now as you can see, this is a epidermis, the outer layer, and this is an inner layer, that is gastrodermis or endodermis. In between these two there is a these gel-like stages present that we call mesoglia, that contain a nerve cells. Okay, so gel-like substances that is found in this mesoglia. There is no particular type of layer that has been formed by the cells. No. Okay. Now this epidermis consists of epitheliomuscular cells. Okay, these are the epitheliomuscular cells. These are the myonemes. Now these are interstitial cells for regeneration, nematoblast cells, neurocytes, or sensory cells. They have to sense any type of stimuli that that need to be received. Next is gastrodermis that have a food vacuole. They are having a endothelial-muscular cells for intracellular digestion. They have glandular cells for enzyme secretion, They have a pseudopodium for gathering the food, or for attaching with someone, and someone is means like food. And the sensory cells are also found in the endodermis. Now next cells that is found is cnidocytes. So we'll discuss about the cnidocytes. Now cnidocytes are absent on the pedal disc. So pedal disc is a part which is posteriorly present, which is nearer to the foot. So at the foot region or at the pedal disc region, the cnidocytes are totally absent, and they cannot be reused. So we cannot reuse them. Once they are formed, they are used, they cannot be reused. We cannot reuse them. Now I'm gonna show you the picture. Yeah, here. Yeah, this is a neuroblast cells, or we call a nematoblast cells. Okay, and first is undischarged and second is discharged. Now this is a vase-like structure that contain a cnidocell. Now this cnidocell is basically responsible for triggering the whole reaction for protection. So this cnidocell is basically responsible for all those reaction. Now this operculum is working as a lid that covers something, lid. Now they have a stylet. As you can see here, these are the stylates. So these are the stylates there, and spines are present, spines, and they have a thread tube, the coiled thread tube. They have a coiled thread tube, and this is having a refractile rods. And this is important, lasso. Lasso is working as a spring like structure, when this is a basically a spring like structure. Now what happen if any prey or a predator come near to this, and they trigger the cnidocell. So what happened? So basically this cnidoblast cells are impermeable to water. That means they won't allow water to move into, or they do not allow water to pass into the cnidoblast. So they are impermeable to water. So what happens if any prey or a predator come near to them and this cnidocell get triggered? That what they do, they allow water permeability. They allow water to move into it. That causes a opening of this thread tube. This thread tube is become uncoiled, and that they have spines, they have stylates that basically puncture the prey or the prey, and causes the paralyzing of the prey. They used to paralyze the prey. So this is an discharged and this is undischarged. So once this nematocyst or cnidocell has been used once, they cannot be reused again. Now I hope you'll get the whole point. So 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 cnidocyte basically to maintain the high ionic concentration and high osmotic pressure. So they used to maintain high ionic concentration and high osmotic pressure by making impermeable to water. Impermeable means they are not allowing a water. But when cnidocell is touched or triggered, that causes a permeability of the water increases. The water will enter. Now that leads to high hydrostatic pressure. Hydro means water, so hydrostatic pressure will increase. That causes a uncoiling of thread tube with the force, and that contain our spines and stylates, and these gonna puncture that prey and paralyze the prey. So this is the whole mechanism that they follow. And there are also different types of a nematocyst or the neurocells we used to study. They are basically responsible for paralyzing the prey. First one is penetrant type of nematocyst, also we called stenotele. They are the largest type of nematocyst. Second is volvent, or we called desmoneme. They are the closed thread tube and they're the smallest one. Okay. Now the third type is stereoline and fourth type is streptoline. Now they come under a category that we call a glutinans. Now this glutinans, as the name already describing its characteristic, they are the sticky substances or the glue substances. They can be atrigus or they can be holotrigus. Now, what is the difference? Atrigus means they do not have, trigus means hair. They do not have hair. While holo means complete or they have. Trigus means hair. They have hairs. So when there is no hair, no spine, no butt, then we call them stereoline type of nematocyst. If they consist of hair and the butt and the spine also, then we call them streptoline type of nematocyst. So this is all about cell and their body wall, and this is basically also I have some pictures of these four types. Yeah. So this is the largest one. So I told you these are the penetrant one. Okay. While the smallest one we call them volvent or desmoneme. The streptoline that contain a these are streptoline that contains a hairs, spines, but the stereoline glutinant do not contain those characteristics. For today, we'll finish this topic right now, and I'll continue with sealant traits in a next class because something are remain to be covered. So we'll cover in the next class, and I hope you like this video. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see my another video also. And thank you so much.